As we know, you are an expert in banking. So what do you see as key opportunities for business banks operating in China over the next few years?
Chinese companies are starting to look at the overseas market very significantly. As you know, European business, they have been investing in China for quite some decades in China very successfully, and they are still very resilient despite this market slowing down economy overall from general point of view, and they are committed to stay longer for the long-term commitment in China. What I can see in my client portfolio, which are Italian companies, half of them are based in Shanghai and the neighboring cities. They are very committed. Actually, as a bank, we are still continue to supporting them for some expansion, internal expansion, and also external expansion by acquisition, for example. This is still the main role, mission of Italian and European bank in China, but also we are starting to supporting more and more Chinese companies going to European, because Europe represents a quite new market for them, and what they need is to be helped through by the reliable partner. Also among that, also the financial banking partner is very important to minimize the risk and to gain the knowledge of the local market.
What are the key opportunities you see for companies in Britain, China, and Europe over the next few years?
So I would say for multinational companies, especially European-based companies, it's actually important for them to also consider to bring some of the China talents to Europe, because for one thing, like if you transfer people more, right, for Europe colleagues to come to China, for China colleagues to go to Europe, for one thing, they learn from each other, right? So they learn the technology side, they learn from how things to be done, they learn on the cross-culture side. That will really facilitate a lot of internal, I would say, communication, decision-making a lot more smoother. Also helps you to shape your strategy to really consider both sides of the world in terms of market dynamics and the market specification. At the same time, I would say, it's quite important that you see the company are rising in China. That actually also means there's a lot more skill sets are ready, right? Talents are ready in the local markets over here. Whereas you can really, harnessing that kind of, I would say, maturity in talents in China markets for your own global growth.
I would say that there's probably a need for a more pragmatic relation between China and Europe. I think China and Europe have a lot of common values, and of course we are different countries. We have also our own culture and our own beliefs, but I believe there is really some areas where we share common goals, and we should really focus on being able to cooperate on that. And then I'm thinking, for example, about sustainability, where China has a technological manufacturing edge. At the same time, Europe has an advanced regulatory system in place. So that we need to identify, I think, where cooperation is possible, and then basically cooperate on that.
How do you see companies that bridge China and Europe can better prepare themselves in the near future?
If you want to prepare for the future, I think most of the Chinese companies, they are thinking about to expand their business overseas. So far, maybe many Chinese companies, they are just a pure domestic player. And if you started to approach a new market, you need people, you need partners, you need knowledge. So I think most of the companies that you need to expand your business intentionally, you can also find here in CEIBS, for example, the human capital is one of the most important critical resources that you need to have in order to be successful in the global expansion. So in CEIBS, I think many of the companies can also find the right people, experienced professionals, they can help to run your business internationally.
Well, one thing, we all know about the disruptions happening a lot these days, right? I think the world is becoming a very much, I would say, volatile place. Even we talk about VUCA longer ago. So if the companies are being more, I would say, more open-minded, right, to learn from different markets much better, right, after they bridging some of these kind of gaps, I would say they will be more agile. They will be more ready in dealing with the disruptions happening in other places, right? And also, I believe, China is a place, I mentioned that there's a lot of things they can harness nowadays, right? No matter it's innovation, no matter it's the readiness of the talents. So they can really leveraging this type of power, which is existing these days, right? To dealing with some of these kind of disruptions out there. You can leverage China for Europe, you can leverage Europe much better for China, or really to think about how to really grow Europe and China together, right? Which is already very large markets out there, right? Together, maybe there's going to be something, new opportunities, right? Rise from this.
I think there is a lot of obstacles these days, of course, a lot of turmoil in the world, so it's hard to navigate. But I believe education is something that is really key here. Education meaning Europeans understanding Chinese and Chinese understanding Europeans. And I actually believe that institutions like CEIBS can play a key role in elevating the level of understanding of each party. And so that's actually really a key role I think CEIBS can play for this relationship. At the same time, I think the companies who can position themselves for creating win-win situations between both Europe and China are definitely setting themselves up for success. So I think the cooperation needs to be on a win-win basis, and so that's very important, I think.
Incredible, right? Whether it's navigating cultural differences, rethinking global strategies, or simply learning how to adapt, our Global EMBA alumni are truly living the CEIBS spirit of China Depth Global Breadth. Thank you to all the alumni who shared their experiences. See you in the next chapter.